So, once again, a very good evening to you. David Goldstrom, together with David Morgan in the Universiade Hall, just about 5 minutes from the centre of Sofia, the capital of Bulgaria. Tonight, the men's 77-kilo competition. That's around 170 pounds, just over 12 stone. These men, who you can see in the warm-up area there. And it's a competitive field of 8. But one absentee tonight, the Greek Victor Mitru, who's got some back problems and is back having a gentle preparation for the Olympics. There's the start list, headed by the world record holder in the snatch. Very good, the Armenian, at that particular discipline, but not quite so good at the second phase. The other interesting point there, you can see the two Bulgarians, Plamen Yeliashkov and further down Zlatan Vanev. Well, they've weighed in at exactly the same body weight, and that could be interesting. Well, here is Kapanikyan of Armenia, the world record holder in the snatch. Now Mehmed should be Plamen Yeliashkov next there. Second in Europe last year in 69 kilos. Here's the Turk, Mehmed Yilmaz. You can never be sure that this man's going to get a total. Maybe it'll be a good night for him tonight. And the heavily muscled Attila Ferry, bronze medal at the last Olympics at 70 kilos. Arslan Melikian representing Armenia. He didn't total in our two European championships. Zlatan Vanev, the second of the two Bulgarians, 2 European titles, 2 world titles already to his credit. And then Suli of Albania from Tirana, who made his comeback after 3 years of absence at the World Championships in Athens. And finally, this is Gnidenko of the Ukraine, who was 8th last time out in the World Championships in Greece. So those are the men, and these are the records. World records in the clean and jerk, as you can see there. 100, just checking out, I'm not quite sure, David, that those are absolutely correct, just reflecting on those records, because the clean and jerk world record is in fact 206 kilos, held by Zhang Zhugang of China.
Yes, that's correct, yeah, and the snatch record is 108.5. Not much difference between the world and the European records. The European snatch record standing at 170, and the clean and jerk standing at 205.5.
They're 202.5.
Although on the screen we just saw, it did register 205. So
we'll try and keep you honest on those. Yes. Live with Plamen Yeliashkov's first attempt at 162.5 kilos. Oh, and surprise, surprise. Whilst you're away, the world record holder and the world champion at the snatch, Kapanikyan of Armenia, failed, and now another of tonight's favourites, Plamen Yeliashkov, failing also at 162.5 kilos.
Yes, neither of them failed strength. Both failing because of technical errors. But of course, in a field like, excuse me, in a field like this, David, you can't afford to miss attempts because it really is so close.
Yes, they've got some important decisions to make now, whether they're going to actually come out and have a go again or move up and try and keep on the plan. Meanwhile, here's the Turk, Mehmed Yilmaz from Ankara.
Yes, he's taken a 7.5 kilo jump. This is interesting. Opened on 155, did a very, very comfortable first lift, and now has taken a 7.5 kilo jump.
Well, maybe in the back of his mind there's still that worry about not getting a total.
Oh, look at that. Well, shows the other two how it should be done.
And the Turks are definitely firing on a lot more cylinders than they have been. That's not, by the way, of Albania. Or is that Suli of Albania? No. What are we doing here? It is Suli of Albania. My apologies. It's the Turk who's about to come on. You're absolutely right, David. My apologies. 7.5 kilos was the increment. And it's put him on 162.5 kilos, which means he now leads the field. So now, this is Mehmet Yilmaz taking the same weight. So in his case, this is now a 5-kilo increase. And were he to get this, he would go into the lead by virtue of his lighter body weight.
Good lift. So the Turk now takes the lead, and still one attempt remaining. I think you'll be pleased with that, David, because they've been telling me that they're not in 100%. They're not at 100% of their conditioning, because obviously they're looking forward to the Olympic Games.
Here comes Vanev. Vanev also going for a 5-kilo increase. This is second attempt. Now Vanev weighed in at 76.72, so even if he gets this, he can only go into second place, ahead of Suli, but behind Mehmet. But of course he still will have one more lift, one more card to play. But the two failures from Kapaniksian and Yelyashkov have opened up this competition. Vanev, terrific speed.
Yes, I don't think Vanev was ever looking for a gold medal on the snatch. He knows if he can stay with them on the snatch, his real power lies in the clean and jerk. So he'll be looking at overall.
So 162.5 kilos puts Zlatan Vanev equal with his personal best. And the encouraging news for him, and that's 5 kilos up on his performance in Athens. So he'll be happy to have put that behind him. Now, Kapaniksian, the world record 170.5 kilos. It's quite interesting. If you were with us for the World Championships, you might remember that the gold medal was actually won by Răzvan Ilii of Romania, who got the gold medal, but Kapaniksian, who was before that competition the world record, captured it. But then subsequently, Răzvan Ilii was disqualified for taking an illegal substance and lost the gold medal. So this man ended up with the title and the world snatch gold record. But two failures, and he's under immense pressure, because the other thing, David, is this is his strongest suit. Whereas we were talking about Attila Ferry being stronger in the clean and jerk, this man has always shown in the snatch.
That's right, he would have been looking to build a lead in the snatch and perhaps just hold on in the clean and jerk. But as it is, he's hanging on with one attempt remaining.
Yes, you see, he got that gold medal in Athens, but then with the clean and jerk slipped back down to 7th place. So Yelyashkov faces the same sort of pressure here as the man who just from Armenia. Yelyashkov, world champion at 69 kilos. That was in 1998. Last year at 77 kilos when he moved up, he was third, behind the man who was a former teammate of his, Peter Tanev. But now a man who represents Qatar. More of that in a moment.
That's more like it.
Yes, he's known as Salim Noyev Badir now, but a year ago in Spain, this 77-kilo title went to Peter Tanev of Bulgaria, and he was the first of the 8 lifters that Bulgaria sold off for a reported $1 million to Qatar. So Yelyashkov now something to prove. So Yelyashkov goes into 3rd place again, body weight playing its part, and it's Mehmet Yilmaz of Turkey who's in the gold medal position at the moment, and he's still got one lift to go.
So of course body weight could be playing a part with this lift as well, because this man, Yunidenko, weighed in at 76 1:38.20. So this lift, if he's successful, will put him into the lead by virtue of lighter body weight.
Yes, he's the lightest man in the field. But didn't get it over his head, and I'm afraid that's another failure. Only 1 out of 3, 157.5, and the opportunity not taken.
Yes, just doesn't really get enough height on the bar. Too heavy on this particular day.
Now.
Yes, the world record holder now hanging on.
Well, I'll tell you what,
attempt.
If he fails this, it will be a huge shock, and just to whet your appetite, in the interval after the snatch and before the clean and jerk phase, we'll be looking back at the last of the women's final, and there was a big shock in that. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but if you stay with us here on Eurosport, you'll see something quite surprising. Well, this is Kapanixian. Third attempt. Remember, this is 7.5, 8 kilos below his record. 20 seconds.
But this would put him in the lead. Of course, he's hurt than all other athletes that have succeeded. So that's the lead for now. But he's just now got to sit back and watch, see what the others do.
Had to work for it, though.
Suzuki, ride the winds of change.
And there's Kodjabashev, Mr. Kodjabashev, the president of the Bulgarian Weightlifting Federation, the gentleman in the suit there, recently took over that responsibility and is responsible for these championships. Now, Kapanixian, the world champion at snatch, is in the lead, but there are 5 men waiting to attack. 4 of them have got left, 1 of them has got 2, and this is the man who's got 2 attempts. This is Melikian of Armenia, so his own teammate to try and upset arguably the pre-competition favourite, at least for this half of the competition. From Yerevan, 23 years of age, Melikian, so much less experienced than the defending champion. And this is 5 kilos up on his performance in Athens when he was down in 13th place in the world rankings in the snatch. And clearly for a new personal best, if he can get it.
That's a shame.
Well, Kapanixian in the back there, you can see the TV monitors. It's a bit like watching the milk bottles being knocked off the wall, but there's an awful lot of bottles standing there. And still 5 attempts to take it away from him. But I have to say 162.5 kilos, David, would be a very unsatisfactory weight to win this with.
Yes, that's right, because of course world record stands at 170.5.
So, Albania's Suli now.
Yes, started on 155, took that big jump to 162.5, but pulled it off. Now, for his final attempt, taking 165 kilos, and this for the lead. Look at that.
I thought for a moment he was going to lose it, but then suddenly recovered, and 165. He's not the lightest man around, so he's still not home and dry. And there are 3 men.
Yes, just look at this again. As you say, there was just a little point there where it looked as if it might go. that really did well to hang on to that.
Well, is that going to be worth a medal? Now, Mehmet Yilmaz, this is a pretty important lift, because if he can get this, he's the lightest of all the rest that are left to lift. So he will put real pressure on the rest now if he can get this. So the Turks have actually played the tactics here well. But it's all down. They can't do anything now, the men in the corner. It's all down to the man who's on the platform.
This would really be something if he could pull this off today. Yes. But I think he realises how well he did with 162.5 in his current condition.
Yes, I mean, it is 2.5 kilos below his personal best, so 165 is the weight he's achieved. I think that's rather disappointing. I'm not sure it's the weight, or is it the mental approach to it?
Well, as I say, they're on a build-up towards the Olympic Games, and they're not at their strongest at the moment.
No, but when a chance like that presents itself, and that was a real chance, David. You know, when they come, you've got to take them. So we've got Albania in the lead from Armenia. Still Yilmaz in third place by virtue of it. But Vanev now, of course, if he lifts this, he will go ahead. His body weight's 76.72, which means that he's light enough, if he succeeds, to push the Albanian down into the silver medal position. Kapanekyan into bronze, and Yilmaz off the podium.
Look at that. Three good lifts for Vanev. 157.5, 162.5, and then a fantastic attempt on 165. And of course, this isn't his strong lift, David, so he's really built himself a good base to work from.
Yes, and that's a new personal best for him. It's a little bit heavier than usual tonight, Vanev. 76.14 when he was setting those personal bests, so 76.72 tonight. Now Malikian.
Well, in fact, the only man left in the competition that could take the gold away from Vanev is actually his teammate, because Malikian coming in now at 165, but of course he's heavier.
But there's an interesting question here, because Vanev has got 165 and got to it first, and Yeliauskov, his teammate, if he was going to do it, he'd have to go for a heavier weight, because Vanev got there first, so he'd be forced by this rather strange rule to actually go to 167.5, Yeliauskov.
Unless he wanted to go for the silver.
Yes. Well, Malikian, he's had a couple of cracks and he hasn't been up to it, and from a position where he really looked in with a really good chance of a medal, he's currently down in 6th place.
It's going to be interesting now to see what Flamen does, because
167.5,
because he's not as strong in the clean and jerk. The snatch is his real strength, so he's going to be wanting to gain some kind of a lead. Well, he's done 170 kilos, so this is within his capabilities.
So this is Bulgaria versus Bulgaria, and difficult to know which half of the auditorium are on whose side here. It is, as you say, a win-win situation for the home fans.
I think he's strong enough to do this. Definitely got the power. On those earlier snatches, though, his technique didn't look as sharp as it has in the past. This is just a question of putting everything together. Well, I said he was strong enough, pulled the weight to arm's length, but just doesn't seem to have the coordination, the positioning this evening.
And just to emphasise, that failure has left him out of the medals. And there, you can just see that failure there, and Vanev he just can't get it there, can he? Vanev it is, who takes the gold medal, 165 kilos by virtue of lighter body weight, denying the Albanian Ilyan Suli with Kapanixyan of Armenia, disappointing in third, but just on the night, good enough to grab a European bronze. Well, still the clean and jerk to come, and in the break, when we come back, we'll also have highlights of the women's super heavyweight class, so stay with us here on Eurosport for that. Now he's gone 185 good, 190 good, and now 195. And this would give him a total of 352.5, but it's not a medal-winning position because he's too far back, really.
But it would put him in the lead on the clean and jerk at the moment, but of course still many athletes still to enter the competition. Hard clean.
I'll be surprised if he does this, but I'll be happy if he surprises me.
Yes, it's very hard to complete the second phase after such a difficult clean. Yes, pulled the weight hard, went underneath, corrected at the bottom, really drove through that sticking point. And it's about at this point where he's really feeling just how heavy that weight is, 420 pounds, and just can't quite get it to arm's length. So he settles for 190 and now has to sit back and watch to see what he can do.
Yes, he's way down at the moment in 6th place on 347.5 kilos, but destined to drop further down the order. Now, Suli for his third lift. He's currently the overall leader with 357.5 kilos. And Suli going for a 2.5 kilo increase here. 195, which would give him the lead in the clean and jerk and put him to 360 as a total. Very good.
That's a good day. That's 6 good lifts.
Very, very good. And the coaching team are really pleased, and so they should be. And I don't think, David, that we're going to see this man standing on a step of the Olympic podium in Sydney. I do think we will see him there, because I think that will earn him his place.
Oh, certainly, but I wouldn't underestimate him.
It's certainly going to...
He snatched 165 kilos.
Well, the interesting thing is that it all comes down to two things. Will this be good enough? His total of, let me just check it, 360. Would it be good enough to put him in the top 15 of the world ranking? And we'll check on that in a moment. If it is good enough, and that, I have to say, is after all the continental competitions around the world which are going on at present are completed. If it is, then it'll automatically be entitled to a place. If it isn't, then he's got to hope for one of those wild cards that are available as a result of the recommendations of the International Weightlifting Federation. But that was a good performance.
I would think he'll be in quite easily with that performance. So the bar is now moving from 195 to 197.5 kilos. Now this is for the second attempt of Flaman. Remember, didn't do as well in the snatch as expected. So now really trying to pull something back in the clean and jerk.
Well, I can tell you, David, I've just had a quick glance here. 360 would put him into the top 15. Because coming into today's competition, 355 from Vanev was the 15th place. So he's got every chance, that Albanian. Maybe Yeliashkov is motivated. Takes over, pushes Sully down into silver medal position. Kapanikian's dropped to third in the clean and jerk rankings, and Malikian down to fourth, but he's still got a couple of lifts left. And he's getting better, I think, now, David. He seems to have warmed to the task.
But of course, Vanev and Attila Ferry still to open their account.
And well, I'd really be happy with these silly people booing and being very unsportsmanlike. I would be very, very pleased if Yilmaz can really serve this up to them, because they deserve nothing less, to be perfectly honest.
He could do this.
He that far away, as you say, he didn't quite get the hips under the last time.
This is his best. This is 197.5. This is his personal best. Needs to stand up. Does the other leg? No, not today.
Wow, that's very, very disappointing, really.
Yes, he now finishes with a total of 352.5.
And he's missing all the medals.
But the bar now moves to the magic 200 kilos.
So Ferry to come in.
Now this is only 6 kilos below the world record. And this is for Ferry's opening attempt. Remember, I said earlier, much more comfortable in the clean and jerk than the snatch. And he's snatched 157, remember. So a lot to make up here.
Yes, the world record set by Zhang Zhugang. 206 kilos set last year. Interestingly enough, the standard set on the 1st of January 1998, when the weight categories were revised, is 372.5 for a total, and nobody has achieved that as yet.
Well, let's hope he's not done himself any permanent damage. Seems to have done something to his knee. And one wonders whether he's going to be carrying on.
Dr. Irani there, as ever, sharply there to give whatever assistance. Let's just have a look at what happens here. And he chucks the bar up, but as he does that, he just feels the knee.
So Vanev comes in now on 200 kilos. This will give him a total of 365 and put him straight into the lead. And I have to say, it will be a lead that will be hard for anybody else to catch. And of course, this just his first clean and jerk.
Wonder how he's feeling. Did that.
Okay, this is his stronger lift.
Oh, my word. Well, if he can do that on 200, I wonder how far could he go tonight. I mean, even if he goes up in 2.5 kilo increments, he'll be right on the verge of that world record.
Yes, he really is supremely strong on the clean and jerk.
And remember, last year was a bad year for him, and this would be a very good moment 4 months before the Olympics to re-establish himself. So Vanev, with a total of 365, leads the overall competition from his teammate Plamen Yeliashkov on 360, and he's ahead of the Albanian by virtue of the lighter body weight. Those are the 1, 2, 3 positions overall. Ferry, at the moment, still looking to put a score on the board in the clean and jerk.
It's very difficult to know what actually happened there. He obviously hasn't snapped a tendon, but it's always very difficult when you've got pain, because you're not just fighting against the weight. He'll also be trying to forget about the pain he's feeling in his knee. So this is a double test.
Ten seconds. 9, 8.
No, I just don't think it's going to happen.
No, I mean, I'm glad in a way that he didn't, because I don't know actually what he's done to himself, David, but with 4 months to the Olympics, any extra effort at this moment would have probably ruled him out completely. It is, who knows, hopefully it's nothing too serious. But he certainly looked very unhappy, and he was completely uncertain in his mind. He had no confidence here.
So now the big question is, what is the weight on the bar going to be next?
So Ferry retires. Malikian, of course, has got a couple of lifts left. He's had 192.5 kilos, but I mean, Malikian, I'm watching this on the board here, David.
Yeah, I think Malikian has decided to go for 202.5, so still in the competition.
That's a big, big increase, 10 kilos.
Yes, he sat back and waited.
It will zoom him up to 362. Worried to get it, which will put him into overall silver.
Yes, and would of course split the two Bulgarians, but of course Plamen still has an attempt left, and Vanev still has 2 attempts left.
But Malikian, you see, he's got 2 attempts as well, but if you go back to the snatch, he had a similar situation there to go for medals, and failed on 2 attempts at 165 kilos and left himself down in 6th place. So are we about to see a repetition of that in this clean and jerk phase?
Well, I think the thing with him is, at least he's actually got a lift in, so he's got a total on the board, and he sat back and decided that he wants to go for medals, and fair enough. Why not?
Well, arguably, he's also going for the Armenian place in this category.
Yes. Well, this will give him the lead in the clean and jerk. Well, as you said, David, it was a big jump. He's got another attempt, but I can't really see him being successful, because that wasn't really, he didn't really fail that through technique. He failed it because his legs just were not strong enough to stand up with this huge weight. Pulled the weight onto the shoulders very well.
So Yeliashkov is going to take his final lift at this weight, which for him will be a 5 kilo increase. So that will take him to 365, but because Vanev has already got there, even if he does it, he can't take the gold medal. So he's accepted his limitations and says, well, let me be sure that I get the silver and not give any sort of opportunity to Malikian. Because if Malikian comes out again at 102.5, he can't overtake him. If Yeliashkov gets this, he'll go up to 365. It's heavy.
Wanting to prove something after that snatch.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. He certainly had the strength to get that out to arm's length and above his head. And that's an excellent excellent lift there by Plamen Yeliashkov. You've got to say, what a disappointment about the snatch there. If he'd got that extra 5 kilos in the snatch, he'd now be sitting at 370 and Vanev would be under real pressure.
But as it is, Vanev has 2 attempts remaining, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if we see a world record.
Well, if he's intelligent, he's only going to take the minimum 2.5. Because all he really wants to do here, well,
no, he needs to take at least 5 to win the clean and jerk, though.
Absolutely. So what does he do it in 2 bites or what? We'll have to wait first because Malikian's coming out to try his 10 kilos.
Well, no, he'll have to go 205 because this is Malikian's 3rd attempt, whereas it would be Vanev's 2nd. So if Vanev was taking 202.5, he'd have to come out now because you have to take your 2nd attempt. Somebody has to take their 2nd attempt at the weight before somebody else takes their 3rd. So he's certainly going at least 205. I wouldn't be surprised if the next weight on that bar is a world record.
Well, this is a category you personally are very familiar with.
That's right. It used to be one of, well, I'm more familiar with the old 75 kilo category because, of course, it's now changed to 77.
10 seconds, can he do it? He's going to have to be hard. He's got the clean, but how much gas has he got left? This will be fantastic for him if he can do this. No.
No, that was an absolute limit clean, but nevertheless, it was a hell of an effort. He really surprised me that he was able to stand up with that.
But yet again, he's played for high stakes. It hasn't come off tonight. And Malikian left with a total of 352.5. Had he got that, he would have snatched the bronze medal away from the Albanian. But I suppose some justice has been done here because the Albanian who put 6 good lifts in is now secure in that bronze medal position.
The bar now, David, is being increased to 207.5 kilos.
Just 1.5 kilos above world record set by Zhang Zhugang. So, Zlatan Vanev is already guaranteed the championship because he got to 365 kilos first, but this is to take the world record, to take the clean and jerk gold, to add to the snatch gold that he's already got. So this is for the lot, David, and were he
for everything and the world record, and it will equal the world standard of 372.5.
And were he to slip up, he's still got another go at it, and 370 is the kiloage that his former teammate Tanev achieved to take the World Championship in Athens. So yes,
there it is.
Yes, the first man to put his name at a total of 372.5 kilos. Well, David, he was well behind in Athens, but he's come back with a vengeance tonight.
And just look at this, so easy. And one wonders, he's got 1 attempt left. Is he going to call it a day, or is he going to attempt another world record? What are we going for? Are we going for 110? Sorry, 210, I should say.
Well, this is a tremendous... Look at the second phase here. It's so strong. Absolutely cracking lift. So, he surpasses Zhang Zhugang's 206 kilo world record jerk. Puts his name on 372.5. Although there's a funny quirk about this, isn't there? Because you don't actually take the standard. You actually have to do a little bit more. So he's got 372.5, but he hasn't actually established it. He's got to take a kilo, I think, more or something. But Vanev, the message will have gone to his teammate, or former teammate, Salim Noyev Bader, who 12 months ago was known as Peter Tanev, took the European title at 77 kilos, and then took the world title for his new country, Qatar, in Athens, with a total of 370. And now Vanev has set all the new marks. There it is, 207.5 kilos, not bothering with the third lift, and I don't blame him, David.
No, I mean, but it does leave you wondering how much further he could have gone.
Well, I think, again, with the Olympics 4 months away, this isn't the time to push yourself and maybe risk another silly injury. Remember, 2 years ago in Riesa, he won the European title, was going for yet another high mark, dislocated the elbow really badly. We thought that was him gone for a year, but he did recover to come back in November in Lahti to take the world title. But there isn't that sort of recovery time now, so intelligent management there by Abazhiev. And the Bulgarians absolutely delighted because yet another title at these championships.